Hey everyone, welcome to my two-part series video centered around the Underground and Overland event that Mike and I organize every year. This annual event started back in 2014. It was pretty centered around underground explorers, abandoned mines and so forth, and then expanded quite a bit into the overland off-roading world because of the fact that you pretty much need that type of activity to get to the abandoned mines. It's held every year towards the end of October, 1st of November, and the gathering point is in Ballarat. It's a pretty casual setup. Everybody just basically is out for a camp together and then goes about doing some mine exploring or overlanding, off-roading at their leisure throughout the whole time. There's some evening events and bonfires and stuff like that I'm going to cover in this video as well. So it's a pretty good time. We have, I think the most we've had is close to 400 and it varies from time to time. So this was the event in 2021. This first video is going to kind of cover our overlanding day trip when we did the South Park to Pleasant Canyon loop. We had 7 rigs with us on this trip. We went up the South Park Canyon Road into the Death Valley National Park to the Butte Valley Overlook, and then across Middle Park Canyon area to Pleasant Canyon and down and back into Ballarat area. This route definitely requires a high clearance 4-wheel drive vehicle. It's pretty steep in places, plenty of rocks, little waterfalls to climb, and narrow shelf roads as well. We did not do this without mishap. So amazingly enough, some people actually do video, so let's just not yell and scream the whole time. So quiet on the set. Just before entering South Park Canyon, you do get an amazing view of Panamint Valley. Of course, we had to stop at Stone and Briggs cabins for a tour. Not everybody in the group has ever been there. Those are amazing places to stay. We really love those locations. These cabins have solar lights, running spring water, hot water heaters for the showers, etc. They're wonderfully maintained by the Friends of Briggs group, and we really thank them for all their efforts. It's been a fantastic job. Here's the stock pantry. We're at Briggs. Beds, bunks. After leaving the cabins, you end up on some pretty tight shelf roads heading up the steep side of the canyon. It's not too bad if the regular vehicle's my full size. I was pretty tight on a lot of cases. My mirror was basically almost touching the rocks on one side, and my wheel would be within 3-4 inches of going off the other side in some places. So it certainly was interesting. It makes it for a fun trip. The scary part pretty much ends when you go around a corner, which is always called Chicken Corner, and that's always a fun thing to do too. I'll explain that in a minute.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, nice and slow. Yep. Okay, start to turn a little bit. Yeah, you're good on that side. You're fine.
This is what has always been known as Chicken Corner, and it used to be a lot worse than it is now. They blasted some of it off right where my wheel is going up onto right now. That used to be more of a sheer wall there, so you had to go out and around that, so you were really kind of off camber coming around this corner leaning into the valley. So it was used to be pretty hairy. Now it's not so bad anymore.
Hard that way. There you go. You got it. Go. There's a rock, so just go. Slow, slow. Have him jump it. Okay. This time he's going to come up. Passenger, hit it. There you go, fast, Evan. Nicely done. Nicely done. No, he's not getting over that rock. No way.
It's
You already got your wheel up on the rock. You can go straight. You're fine.
He's got everything. He's got everything.
That keeps him more level. Now turn in.
He's gonna. After Chicken Corner, this route opens up quite a bit. It's still fairly steep and plenty of rocks, that's for sure, but it's a lot easier than that shelf road before that. At one point you come to a spring area where it's pretty heavily overgrown. You do get a little bit more tighter here. It's trimmed back some, but you might get some scratches and everything because it's a lot more overgrowth, that's for sure. In the winter we've had problems where the spring will actually have iced up the road pretty good, and it's kind of hard to get through there. All the trips and all the miles I've done, I've only had two flats while overlanding, and this was my second one. Hit a rock just right. Wasn't that big a deal, but took out the sidewall. Note to self, come up with a better jack than the factory jack. This thing was very crooked in there, but it worked. At the end of this road you get to a nice overlook over Butte Valley and Stripe Butte itself. It's an amazing view of Death Valley. From here we run parallel to this valley you see there for a ways, and then we head back towards Panamint Valley through Pleasant Canyon, and the trees in the top part of that are a lot tighter. There's definitely going to be some scratching going on there. You're just basically winding through these trees. Makes for a pretty fun road to drive though, because the way it just winds, it's a lot of activity while you're driving. Three-quarters of the way back down to Ballarat, there's a really nice cabin there as well called World Beater, and of course we stopped to check that out as well, and did a little practice shooting while we were there. There's a nice little shooting range area. This is at Clare Camp. There's a pretty decent cabin here, and some other had junk stuff too. But there was a tram station here, and the mines for this was up the mountain. So there's the ore bins there, and it went up and over there. After Clare Camp, there's just another half an hour or so back down to the camp at Ballarat. It comes out right there in town. Nice drive through some spring-fed areas, so there's a lot more vegetation and everything down there. From there, we went back and basically hung out and had the evening activities at camp. Big bonfire and fun hanging out with friends and meeting new people and everything. So this kind of basically covers the route that we did for this day. This is Friday of that Overland and Underground weekend, and I'll cover the next day overlanding, plus the events that we actually held in the evenings for the event itself. This will all be covered in the second video in this series. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button and subscribe. We'll see you on the trail.